How are we doing today, folks? This is the Banking with the Backdoor podcast with Jason Malloy in real life. Coming back to you on Saturday here. We are here at just slightly after 9:30. It's about when our shows are going to start. We're going to try and get a 9:30 hammer down. Of course, we got things going on in, I don't want to say the real world, but we got things going on in our life as well. I have work, obviously, so I get out fairly late. I go in fairly early and get out fairly late. So hard working, to say the least, I guess. No, I don't work that hard. I have a lot of fun. I like what I do. But either way, getting into some things here. We got a guest on tonight, as we have every night, and we probably will have every night going forward. That's kind of my goal here. I want to bring you a little bit of something different once in a while. Last week we talked a little bit of baseball. We zeroed in on the Los Angeles Dodgers and what they were going with. With the draft coming up, we'll probably be doing a lot more draft coverage, which would be great. We had a lot of listeners last week. I really liked that. Got some good content out there for you with Dodgers and my lowly Baltimore Orioles. Yes, I watched the game today, so I threw the jersey on. It wasn't much good luck, as you could see. But the bullpen's doing well, and things are going well. As we said about with our guest, though, we're going to get excited here. We're going to go ahead and speak with Akelo. Akelo, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to the crowd and to the listeners and tell them what you're all about and what you're here for.
First off, Jason, man, thanks for having me, man. This is a real big for me, man. My podcast, to put it bluntly, I have no listeners right now, so it's cool to be here. But
I'm not somewhere.
Of course. Furlough, what's up, fans of the Banking podcast? My name is Akelo Roberts. I first got my start, I guess you could say, in sports media, probably 2 years ago, January 2020. I was reading I'm a Nebraska fan. See the hat?
Cornhuskers, right?
Yes, sir. Go Big Red. Go Big Red. I was reading a Nebraska blog about a football blog. It's called coronation.com. And I saw they had an opening for a football recruiting writer. And at the time, I had no hobbies. I was pretty much like bored, so I decided to do it. 2 years later, it flourished for me. You know, my articles were getting thousands of views, and yeah, I decided to branch off from Coronation, kind of do my own thing, writing wise. In the midst of all that, last year, in the midst of the pandemic, I decided to start my own podcast. It kind of happened by fate, you know. I was in the process of starting one, but then I remember in the beginning, my audio wasn't like where I wanted it to be, so I kind of like tweeted out like, "Man, this sucks. I'm not doing this anymore. I hate podcasting, all that stuff." And then out of nowhere, like 80 people that all did podcasts that followed me for some reason, they all said, "Hey, Akelo, we love you, we support you. Do the podcast, but we support you." One of them happened to be a guy named Ryan Cogga, I hope I'm saying his name right.
I think it's Cahill. I think it's either Cahill or Cahill, and I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that right, but yeah.
Anyway, my boy Ryan, that's what I call him. I call him my big homie Ryan. It's the podcast. The big homie Ryan, he DM'd me my Twitter DMs and said, "Hey man, I really think you should do the podcast. But hey man, why don't you partner up with me? I got this thing called LG Sports Entertainment. I want to get you under my wing, and we're gonna help you start podcasting. You know, I think I need support." So I hopped on the wave. And you know, Ryan, since then we've been rolling ever since. There were some changes within the infrastructure of the company, and I guess something happened for LBG folded, and so we started to align with the big homie Justice Radford, and that brought me here, and I'm just happy to be here, man. Talking football with Akelo Roberts, different podcast. Talking football with Akelo Roberts.
Talking football with Akelo Roberts. Okay. I'll be looking out for that. Any of those? I don't know much about. Tell me, give me an elevator pitch. Give me a 30-second statement on what Nebraska Cornhusker football is, and give us a couple players that you guys have had in like the last 10 years that people could identify with that they've had, because I don't know much about the Huskers. I'll be honest with you. So.
Oh God! If you're talking about the last 10 years between 2012 and 2022.
Mm-hmm.
Nebraska football, it's kind of like you know like how in the Bible where they circle the mountain for 40 years, like for the promised land.
Yeah,
it's kind of like that. We've been looking for ourselves for like the last 10 years or so. But historically, everybody knows Nebraska. We're dominant, option offense, legendary players. It's a little beyond the past 10 years, but you know we've got Ndamukong Suh, Tommy Frazier, Scott Frost, who's the head coach right now, Eric Crouch, those type of guys. I'm trying to think of some other guys. Carell Buckhalter, Lawrence Phillips, Amon Green.
Amon Green, the running back, the great running back for the Packers, right?
Exactly, Packers. I think he's with the Texans too.
See, I thought he was with Wisconsin, because I get you guys confused because you have the same color scheme. But
yeah. And honestly, if you want to talk about history, Barry Alvarez, who's been Wisconsin AD for I don't know how long, he got his model of how to build a Wisconsin football program from Nebraska because
Oh,
he's
wow.
originally in Nebraska. And basically, if you look at things since he's left Nebraska, Wisconsin is like been on the up and up. Wisconsin is one of the best football programs in college football, and Nebraska is kind of like we're kind of in the doghouse, like we're in the toilet bowl. But
Well, it's hard for you guys. It's probably hard for you guys to recruit. I'd imagine, top athletes when you're competing. Well, everybody's competing, but you're competing with, down there in the South with the SEC and Bama and Georgia and Clemson.
oh yes.
Well, Clemson's not ACC, but either way, yeah, they're ACC. But
yes. Speaking of recruiting, I remember 2020 class. Well, he's talking about recruiting the South. The 2020 class, I believe we signed like 9 players from Florida or something like that. All 9 players in Florida. They signed in February. They were all gone by December.
well, they transfer, or they didn't end up signing.
Now they all transferred out.
Transfer. So do they have to go? So that's one thing. If you don't actually if you sign right out of high school and then you go in, you don't have to go to the transfer portal until you don't actually use the portal until you're like a year in, right? Or is that not how it works?
No, you can use the portal like as soon as you enroll.
Yeah, we have up here in UB. We don't have. We didn't have. Well, honestly, I'll be honest with you. UB is a weird spot. UB, obviously, Buffalo Bulls. It's MAC. It's not as big. We've had a couple good teams put together. Like we had a couple years back. We had wow, how am I forgetting his name?
Khalil Mack.
Well, no. I was gonna mention him, but no, I was thinking about more recently. We had Ladarius Mack most recently, his brother, but we had Anthony Johnson and how am I forgetting his name? The quarterback. Tyree Jackson. We had Tyree Jackson, he came in with the Bills, and he was a practice squad guy for a very short amount of time, unfortunately. But he did end up going to, I want to say it was one of those semi-pro leagues, but yeah, semi-pro leagues. One of the smaller leagues, the AAF or UAF, USFL, something like that. I think it was the AAF, the American, the first one that they did. And he was there for a little while, and we had Anthony Johnson, and we had a slew of running backs though. We had. I'm just blanking on these names right now. Packer running back, great Packer running back. Why am I forgetting his name? He would have been probably the predecessor, I'd imagine, to Amon Green, actually. Now I think about it. He's from Niagara Falls. I can't think of it.
Dorsey Levens?
Who's that?
Dorsey Levens?
No. I want to say it was John. Was it John? Anybody in the comments knows, let me know. Either way, we had him. We had Brandon Oliver. We have Jarrett Patterson, who's now currently with the Washington Commanders, formerly the Washington Redskins.
He was good too.
He was very, very good running back here. He broke a ton of records. I remember he had that one game he had like 6 touchdowns and 500 yards, something like that. That put him on the map. But I liked him for the Bills, but he ended up going to the Commanders. I think he might have a decent career there in the special team sector. But either way, we've had our share of guys up here too, and then Syracuse is a hop and a skip away. That's 3.5 hours away. That's ACC football. Obviously, it's hard for them to compete as well. You're competing with Clemson, who I don't know when Clemson's going to move to the SEC. I'd imagine it's going to happen soon, seeing as they probably should already be there with the way they compete. But we'll see what happens. I'm one that thinks that there's not going to be a lot of divisions in college in Division I fairly soon. I think we're going to start to see some of those divisions start to fade out and SEC become really big. And some of the other ones, maybe, I don't know, we'll see with the Big Ten, what happens with that. But some of the other ones get really, really big. And I think that is it the Mountain West? I'm sorry, the Pac-10. Pac-10 might be fading out as well. We'll see what Pac-12. I'm sorry. We'll see what happens with all that though. But either way, let's jump into some NFL football. And unfortunately, we got to start on a bad note here. Tragically, Dwayne Haskins, quarterback who was originally from Ohio State, he was a Buckeye, big favorite there on campus with the Buckeye. I believe he actually, and here we go, to his credit, to name something awesome that he did. He actually beat out Joey Burrow at Ohio State for the job, and he actually forced Joe Burrow to transfer to LSU because he was so damn good in college. And he was a great college quarterback. High first-round pick. I would say high. I mean, if you're the first round, you're a high pick regardless. But I believe he was either the 15th or a top 15, might be 17. I'm not sure on the numbers. Overall pick, right in the close to, if not in the top half of the first round of the NFL draft a couple years back for the Washington Commanders. Redskins at that time. Unfortunately, it didn't work out there. He moved on to Pittsburgh. Now he's in Pittsburgh now. I'm sorry. Formerly, he was Pittsburgh. Mitch Trubisky, a Bills quarterback, went there this summer. I think that Haskins had a really good shot at getting that job, at least competing heavily into the late parts of the late parts of the training camp. And we'll see if he would have won that job or not. We're not sure, obviously, what would have happened at this point. We won't be, unfortunately. But Dwayne Haskins passed away. Unfortunately, it was a car accident. He was not in a car, I believe, but he was hit by a car, unfortunately. From what I've seen, jogging on the thruway, I believe. I'm not exactly sure how that went down. I haven't read really enough yet, so I don't want to comment too much on it. But yeah, that is what happened, unfortunately. So. Anything that you remember, Akelo, about Dwayne Haskins' career? I always liked him as a prospect coming out of school. Had a little bit of speed, had a little bit of size, had a decent arm. I think that what it seems like he may have needed to really work on, or that he probably was working on for all we know. I mean, he was able to study behind Big Ben for a little while there. Was probably just a football IQ. I'm not sure, but I think he had a lot of the physical traits, at least in my opinion. I always liked him as a prospect. I wanted to see him flourish and do well, obviously. Another good quarterback in the league is always exciting. But do you have anything you want to say, on the Dwayne Haskins situation and unfortunately what's went down?
Yeah, man. Yeah. First, I want to say, man. First off, rest in peace to Dwayne Haskins, man. We lost a great football player. Most importantly, a mother lost a son. Most importantly, that's the most important thing. I remember watching the 2019 NFL draft, and I remember Dolphins. I wanted Dolphins to draft him actually.
I thought they might. I thought they maybe were going to. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, God, I was thinking like, God, please let the Dolphins get Haskins. Please let the Dolphins get Haskins. I think, we ended up drafting Christian Wilkins instead from Clemson. Christian Wilkins has actually been a pretty good player for us too. But going back to college, I thought he was a great player. Unfortunately, I think that Ohio State, like their offensive system, kind of like conducive to like great QB play. So you're not really sure like what kind of player you're getting. Regardless, he was a great player. I mean, but he was still a great player. If I remember right, when he was coming out like during combines, pro days, and all type of stuff, he reminded me a lot of like Byron Leftwich kind of like he had the arm.
I got that same feeling too. It's weird you say that. I got the same feeling too. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. He had a big arm. He was a big guy, like 6'4", 6'5", 230 or so. Foot wise, he wasn't the most fleet of foot. I'm from the South. We call it slew-footed. He was slew-footed. He wasn't very mobile. He had a cannon for an arm. I don't
think he was mobile, but I think that in the future he may have had the ability to be able to escape the pocket, which is obviously really all. Yeah, in today's NFL, you want to be able to run around, but if you can escape the pocket, buy yourself another second or two, you'll succeed as long as you got the arm talent. He had that, so.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I remember also leading up to the 2019 draft. One of the concerns that I even remember Urban Meyer talking about was they felt like he was like ready enough maturity wise to be going to NFL, all that type of stuff. I think as a player, I think we kind of saw it. Like he fizzled out rather fast in Washington. He went to Pittsburgh, trying to rejuvenate his career. I think he showed some things as a player in Pittsburgh. I thought like maybe he had a career and he had a future in his league.
Needed a fresh start, certainly. I think that was getting to Pittsburgh was probably the best thing that could have happened at that time for him.
Exactly too, because when you think about it too, Dwayne Haskins, he's from the DMV. He's from Maryland, so he probably had a lot of like close family members, like maybe might have been clouding his judgment a little bit. So probably need to get away from home.
He's probably an Orioles fan like me, which is cool. So
yeah.
Baltimore's right there.
Yeah, for real. But ultimately, man, I think this year he would have had a chance to compete for a starting job, definitely with Steelers. It was it's just tragic, man. His death happened like actually in my neck of the woods. I live in South Florida. It happened on 595. He apparently, I might be wrong. I might be out of context. But what I remember seeing, they said it was early in the morning, like late at night. I guess he's coming from being out somewhere, and something happened to his car. I guess he was having car issues. So he pulled over to the side of the highway, I guess, to check what was going on. And when he hopped out, he got hit by a garbage truck. And that's what I remember seeing. That's what they said happened. And yeah, man. First thing first, I remember. I think this happened last year, 2 years ago. Chris Smith. I don't know where he's at now. He played defensive tackle for the Browns. He was in his Lamborghini. Something happened to his car, and he had a girl. He had his wife, the mother of his child with him. He got out to check what was wrong with the car. His girl got out too, and she got hit by a car and died the same way. And I just want to say, man, people, when you're driving, man, if you're having car issues, man, just please watch out, man. Call AAA or something. Call the police or something, man.
Especially when you're frustrated, like, so I could definitely see that, because like I've had to pull over the thruway because, like, I like ran out of gas occasionally, or something happened, your battery died, and like you're so frustrated, you're not thinking, you just have it, just kind of, yeah. I mean, obviously, I don't want to speculate. We don't know what happened, obviously, in this situation. There's not going to be any footage, which we don't see anyways. But it's, yeah, it's either way. I definitely can understand maybe the state of mind that someone would be in that time, being kind of pissed off. Obviously, I've done it myself. Luckily nothing's happened, obviously, at this point, but. Yeah.
But I was gonna say, man, for real, man, this whole thing's just tragic, man.
He's a young guy too, 24 years old, I think.
Yeah, 24 years old. He's only a year older than me. I'm 23. But it's just tragic, man. That's why I was gonna say a few things, man. Motorists, if you got a problem with the car, watch your surroundings, man. Call AAA or something. I was gonna say, man, prayers for his family, man, especially his mother. That's a terrible thing.
Yeah.
As a parent, you never want to bury your child. And yeah, that's pretty much it, man. It's just sad, man.
Yeah, it's a sad day. Rest in peace, Dwayne Haskins, and hopefully, I was just thinking in my car over here, maybe he's up there, like, and he's an all-pro quarterback. Not that he couldn't have been. I mean, like I said, I really do, and this is not just saying this could have happened. I really do think that he was a hell of an athlete, and I think he had a chance to really compete for that job in Pittsburgh. If not this year, some point later on this year, or maybe long-term, or get a chance somewhere else. Guys like that stick around. Even if you stick around as a backup quarterback in the NFL, and you're a reliable backup that plays a couple games a year for teams that you jump onto, or maybe you stay long-term with the team, something like that. That's still an amazing feat that, I would say 99.5% of the world is never going to ever feel, and you're going to be able to provide for your family and have generational wealth and set a good foundation for your family for the next very long time. So, either way, very tragic, very sad. Prayers out to the family. Jump into something a little bit different here. Not a little bit different, but jump into something different. Well, yeah, different. We're going to jump into something regarding the Buffalo Bills. We want to talk about Stefon Diggs, wide receiver, locked up. Best wide receiver in the AFC East, best wide receiver in the AFC, in my opinion. You may not have the same opinion. You are a Dolphins fan. You've got the monster over there, Tyreek Hill, monster on and off the field, unfortunately. Yeah. However, I don't know what happened there. However, we got Stefon Diggs locked up. I like the contract. I do. I like it because I think Stefon Diggs is not a player that has shown that he's going to have serious injury issues. He's not a player that has nagging injuries to this point. God willing, he doesn't. He's from Maryland, which means he probably grew up an Orioles fan as well, which just puts him even higher in my book. He's way up there in my book. You're an Orioles fan. If I'm a one day when I'm a business owner, if someone comes in, I'm an Orioles fan, you get the job. You're a truly loyal, good person. So either way, not to get off topic, Stefon Diggs, yeah, I think he's someone that doesn't take a lot. He doesn't take a lot of hard hits, right? Like, he's really good at his craft, really good at route running. He doesn't win, and the thing is, he does not win on one thing in particular. He wins on a lot of different things. His footwork, his route running, his hands, his speed, his ability to fool defense. I mean, just the things he can do, his mental football IQ. He wins on so many different things that I can see him being successful for another 4, 5, 6 years in this league. Where this contract is not going to be a hamper. Where I've seen some of the fans say, like, "Oh, it's a long deal. You paid him too much." First of all, he took $26 million a year, which has given us a bit of a break there. He wants to retire a Buffalo Bill, meaning that if there's a second contract, which I think there will be, because I do think he's going to be able to be a very good receiver for a long time in this league, continue on what he's already done. I think that's going to happen. I don't see any issues coming from injuries or anything. Obviously, anything can happen any given year. We look what happened with Trey White last year, unfortunately, but I see his skills being able to take him to the next level and be good into it. And Brandon Beane talked about it with Von Miller too. They think he's a guy that's done a lot in this league and is going to get us over the top and something that's an essential piece to this, not only offense or defense in Von's case, but this team as a whole and what they bring to the younger guys. They think they're guys that they can play well into their 30s, and I trust Brandon Beane to make those good decisions there. He's done his only right to this point. Has there been a couple of misses? Sure. There's been a lot more hits than misses, and some real big ones like Josh Allen, who everybody doubted, who is now, in my opinion, the best quarterback in the NFL. 1A, Patrick Mahomes is 1B, and Tua is somewhere down in the 20s, maybe even the 30s. But
hey, I agree with that, man. I agree with that, actually. Tua has a really
cool. Go ahead, man. You tell me about Steph Diggs and you can relate it back to what you think. Talk about Stefon Diggs, what you think that contract means for the Bills. That's the question I want to ask. And then why? Because I know you're going to say this. Why you think Tyreek Hill is better?
Yeah, man. Yeah. First off, I think the Stefon Diggs contract is great, man. Looking. I remember going back to college when he was playing for Terrapins, Maryland. I remember watching him. I was thinking, why is this? I remember watching him in college, and I remember watching the draft. I think I drafted in either 2015 or 2016. And I was thinking like,
Yeah.
I was thinking, how do you fall to the fifth round? Like, what the hell NFL team's looking at? Like,
He was supposed to be a Raven. He wanted to play for the Ravens, really, and they
yeah,
didn't end up taking him. So
yes. So it was like evidence to me, like, how do you fall that? How do you fall like that? But like once he got drafted, he went to Minnesota first, then to Buffalo. I mean, he's pretty much still he's one of the best receivers in the league. I believe I believe Tyreek Hill I believe Tyreek Hill is probably they're tied 1A for me, 1A 1B I'd say for me right now, at least as far as AFC goes, because I think the NFC has some great receivers as well. I believe they're tied. But going back to the contract, I think the contract is great. It's pretty good. If you want to talk about Buffalo contracts, I thought the Von Miller contract was kind of. I mean, he's like 33, 34. I don't know how good it is, but
keep in mind though, if you didn't see the numbers that came out after, it's really a 3-year deal at about 17.5 per year. After that, they can pretty much cut him if they wanted to, cut him with no consequence from what I've seen. So a 3-year deal, 17.5 mil. 17.5 mil is not anywhere near what the top pass rusher, on the interior or the exterior is getting paid right now. So he's taking a decent deal. The guy had a good amount of sacks in the playoffs. He's really, without him, I don't know if the Rams won the Super Bowl last year. And 17.5 for 3 years, I can see him being productive and getting his double-digit sacks, even if it's just fringe. Even if he gets his 10 sacks a year for the next 3, that contract was probably well worth it, because there's probably a Super Bowl, hopefully a Super Bowl somewhere along the way there, where you can look at everything as a win. Like the Rams up against the cap, they don't have a lot of draft capital, but they won the Super Bowl. So, I mean, everything's kind of a win at this point for them, But carry on, sorry.
That is true. But yeah, I believe that Stefon Diggs' contract is great. I believe it's actually it's pretty team friendly actually. Even though you look at the numbers, you're like, wow, that's a lot of money, but it's still team friendly when you look at it. Now going back to how I feel about Tyreek Hill and versus Stefon Diggs, I'm gonna take it back a little bit. I'm gonna take it back 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I was it was 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I was a freshman in high school.
Mm-hmm.
The Miami Dolphins just drafted Ryan Tannehill. And I remember, it was the year after. So Ryan Tannehill got drafted 2012, 2013. After his rookie year, the Dolphins signed Mike Wallace from Pittsburgh. Mike Wallace was known as one of the best. Yeah, he was that man. He was one of the best deep threats in the AFC. The Dolphins gave him some big money at the time. I believe at the time he got like a $60 million contract, which was like a lot of money for a player at the time. And once he came to Miami, I watched every week, every Sunday after church, watching Tannehill miss this guy deep, literally every play. You're a Bills fan, so I know you saw it. I know you saw Tannehill missing him deep almost every other
We
play.
always thought that he had like a lot of ability to be able to do something, because he'd have these games that are like, oh, he had good games, and he was like regarded at one point as like a decent quarterback. And then once I just kind of saw it one day, and I'm like, wow, he really does not do much, especially in Tennessee. You see it kind of,
Yep. I said in my podcast like 2 months ago on AFC Championship weekend. AFC divisional playoff weekend. I said when Tennessee played Cincinnati, I said I think Tennessee is better, but I know Ryan Tannehill, and Ryan Tannehill is going to lose the game for Tennessee. And sure enough, we saw Cincinnati beat Tennessee because Ryan Tannehill did what he does best. But yeah, like I was saying, I believe the Tyreek Hill contract with the Dolphins shows a lot of parallels to the Mike Wallace contract. I believe it all boils. I think Tua has no excuses. I think this year is do or die for Tua. I think Tua, if he doesn't show anything this year, he never will. And I believe if that doesn't happen if it doesn't happen from this year, I think we need to move on rather quickly. You saw how the Cardinals drafted Josh Rosen, and they moved on rather quickly with Kyler Murray the next year.
I think they decided at one point, they're just like, hey, this ain't gonna work out. We're gonna have to figure something out here, and they just bit the bullet. Took the heat, took a chance, really.
Exactly. Or like
I don't know how much of a chance it is to just get another high prospect quarterback. You probably have some kind of odds there as a betting show. You probably have some kind of odds or percentage that you're going to be able to hit, especially when it's Kyler Murray, the top ranked quarterback prospect that year.
Yeah, of course.
Who I think should have played baseball. I thought at the time he should have played baseball, and I think now he should play baseball. I think he should have played baseball. I think he'd have a much longer career. He'd probably make more money too, because you look at some of the deals. Like, it's not like people say, oh, well, he would have had to wait 6 or 7 years. after he got the LNB level to be able to get paid and become a free agent. That's not how it works anymore. Look at Wander Franco. Wander Franco just got a huge contract. Let's think what Brian Hayes just got a huge contract. These are guys that had years left under team control that just got deals to get it out of the way, and teams paid them. And then in a couple of years, they're going to be not a couple of years, but when that original free agency mark, a year or two after that original free agency mark, they're going to get paid again. And guess what? They're going to get paid like a 10-year deal worth $350 million. I know Wanderers at least. So we'll have to see what happens with Brian. I think Brian's a good player too, but we'll see what happens.
Yep. But like I was saying, I was saying, like, how would you move on? Like, Tua, I was giving examples, like how the Cardinals move on for Josh Rosen rather quickly, or God bless the dead, rest in peace. You saw how the Redskins or the Washington football team, now the Commanders, how they move on from Dwayne Haskins rather quickly.
Yeah.
So I believe like that's still possible for us. Just if 2022 we go 17 games now. 2022 we go 7-10. Bye. Adios. No more Tua. But
if you guys go 7-10, I'll honestly be kind of surprised because I have you guys pegged at like somewhere around like I don't want to say 7-10 a little ridiculous for me to think, but I could see like 9-8, or 8-9.
I don't know, man. I'm still skeptical about Tua, man. I don't know.
Yeah, but I think that they're almost so decent on each side of the ball now, in my opinion, that they actually could overcome that. Like, and I liked Tyrod. Tyrod, I'm forever grateful to him for ending the drought. He was a good quarterback, great work ethic, still like a highly regarded around the league. And a backup that I was totally on board with getting them back here this offseason to be the backup quarterback for Josh. But that team we had over there kind of overcame his quarterback play to an extent, or his limitations, to be able to break the drought for us in 2017. So it's possible. I don't know if the Dolphins will do it, but we'll see. Maybe Tua's good. Who knows?
Yeah. Hey, I swear on everything. Since we're talking about Bills and Dolphins, I swear, 2016, Week 17, Dolphins at Bills. It was like hella cold that day.
I was at that game.
Oh, you got the game?
I have season tickets. I was definitely at that game. Yeah.
I swear.
We had a missed field goal, I think, from what was his name? Dan Carpenter missed a field goal, and I think we lost. We had Rex Ryan. That was Rex Ryan's probably last game. That was his last game.
Yeah, I swear. I believe that's time Dolphins were fighting for like a wild card.
It was Week 16, by the way, because Week 17. Yeah, Week 17 was Week 17 was against the Jets because Rex Ryan got fired after that game. Week 17 was against the Jets, and that's when who was the coach? Why am I forgetting his name? The coach for the Chargers for that time.
Mike McCoy?
No, Chargers. Coach for the Chargers came from the Bills organization. Anthony Lynn. Yeah, I'm sorry. Anthony Lynn coached that game. We were like, we thought we'd bring him back. We didn't. Went to the Chargers, I believe. And, obviously that didn't end up working out either. But he was there for a long time. So, but yes, that's where that.
Well, I was saying 2016, Week 16, Dolphins at Bills. I swear, I think at the time, like I was saying, at the time, I believe the Dolphins were in the hunt for a playoff spot, for a wild card spot. Mm-hmm. I swear, like to this day, that's probably like the most like amped I've ever been to watch a Dolphin game ever. Because think about it. I was born in 1998. My entire childhood, the Dolphins were terrible, except that one year where we had the Wildcat with Ronnie Brown and Ricky Williams. My entire childhood, the Dolphins were terrible. Goddamn Joey Harrington, washed up Dante Culpepper.
Joey Harrington, yeah.
Cleo Lemon had to sit through those years, man. You can't tell me nothing. I sat through Chad Henne. Like you can't tell me nothing about the Dolphins, man. That's just funny, man. Like I just want to say that one game, like that was like the most like hype I've ever been to a Dolphins game, and we pulled it out. I think you said the Bills missed a field goal and we won. We escaped Buffalo would win. Yeah,
that was a really strange game. The Bills should have won that, but I think Jay Ajayi had like 250 rushing yards that game.
Yeah, he went off that game. But, I'm going back to the crux of my argument. I was talking about Stefon Diggs versus Tyreek Hill.
Right.
Yeah, Stefon Diggs. He's a more certain product. We know Stefon Diggs is going to catch about 80 balls this year, about 1,300, 1,400 yards.
Yeah. 12,
14 touchdowns. We know what we're going to get from Stefon Diggs. Tyreek Hill, he has potential to do literally do whatever he wants to do. This guy's the fastest player he's seen in probably 10, 15 years in the NFL. So I'm still but at the same time, like I said, I'm not sure about Tua. So right now, I would say I'm all. If we're playing poker, I got all my chips on Stefon.
Yeah, and that it'll depend because Tyreek will have kind of the run of the mill, like be involved in so many damn different plays. But is he going to draw a ton more coverage, because there's no Travis Kelce there to be able. I mean, yeah, there's Jalen Waddle, but it's not Travis Kelce,
Yeah.
And Pat Mahomes isn't throwing the ball either. That's another big one that I think we'll have to see what kind of happens there. But yeah, we will have to see. Well, we're going to get into the betting portion of the show here. I'm going to give some picks here. I give picks every week here at Akelo, if you don't know. I gave a couple of betting picks here. We've done historically well over the last, I'd probably say 2 or 3 months ever since Super Bowl. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to give my picks here, and we will go from there. I have tomorrow night my Toronto Raptors getting ready for the playoffs. We're going to the playoffs. No play-in this year, which is awesome. We are currently okay, I'm going to get this wrong, 5th seed. I want to say 5th. It's been jumping back and forth every couple days, so I want to say the 5th seed either way. Tomorrow, we are going to beat the Knicks, and this is an interesting one. So I liked -5, but I didn't like the money they were paying out for it. So -5 was -110, fairly close to even money. It's $50, pays out like 45 in profit, something like that. Instead, I'm going to go with this. I think it's going to be a fairly tight game, but I think the Raptors are going to win it, and they're going to be at the foul line at the end of the game, and they're going to win by 7 or 8 points. So I've got the Raptors win margin. If you book that, you can get that on FanDuel. I believe DraftKings has it, and there may be a couple of other different there's a decent amount. I know the casinos don't have it, but there's a decent amount of books that do support the win margin brackets. So it's between 1 and 10, 11 and 20, 21 and 30, things like that. I took the Raptors win margin 1 to 10. That's plus 160. Of course, we always bet $50 on our bets and our single bets here, and $20 on our parlays. Welcome to do more if you want. You want to bet 1,000? Go ahead. You want to bet 100? Go ahead. I feel confident in everything that I give out to you guys, and I personally bet these myself. And I will, starting this week with baseball starting, I'm going to be giving out some picks throughout the week too. I don't have a set schedule yet on when those will be out or how often they'll come out, but you'll probably start to notice a schedule and we'll go from there. Again, if I have no picks, I'm not going to give them out. If I got good picks, I'll give them out. It all depends on what I have when I have faith in, because I'm not going to tell you guys to bet something I'm not going to bet myself. So Raptors win margin 1 through 10 for the points, 1 to 10 for the points, plus 160. Next bet. This is not a biased pick. It's got to happen. The Orioles have lost 2 games in a row to open the season. Opening day, we lost yesterday. We lost today. Yesterday was a much tighter game, much closer. Probably should have won that game. Unfortunately, we lost. John Means pitched a hell of a game, though. Today, Jordan Lyles, inning eater. And I say inning eater because there's really not many other attributes to give him. He's not a very good ERA pitcher. He's not a very great pitcher, but he's a vet pitcher that can eat innings up and help to conserve our young bullpen. Inexperienced, hoping to get experience bullpen. But bullpen's been playing really well the last 2 days. Like to keep it like that. It's nice when they can only, have to pitch, 3-4 innings instead of, 6, 7, 8 innings. So either way, I got the Orioles plus 1.5 tomorrow at -115, very close to even money on that one. So I like that one. I'm going to take that. It's going to be a close game tomorrow. We got Tyler Wells on the bump for the O's and Corey Kluber, I believe, on the bump for the Rays. So we'll see what happens there in an empty Tropicana field. It's empty. I never understood it. And I was just arguing with someone about this on Twitter today. The Orioles had a better attendance numbers last year, losing 100 games, while then the Tampa Bay Rays winning 100 games last year. They had better attendance numbers. It shocks me. It's like over 1,000 per game, 1,000 more people per game. And not to mention, we had 3 less home games. We had 3 less home. They had 81 home games. I think it was COVID restrictions. We had 81 home games. Or I'm sorry, they had 81 home games, which is a normal number. 81 home, 81 away, 162 total. We had 78, and we still had more than them. That's kind of embarrassing for that fan base. But I hear travel is hard to get to the games. Regardless, go support your team. So either way, I had to drive 6 hours to watch my team play, and I still make it there once a year for a series, maybe even twice. I'd go there every other weekend if I could. Just can't do it. So either way, that's -115, $50 single bet. This is our last bet we've got here. It's going to be a parlay for tomorrow. Here's what I'm going to do. Okay, so I have the Orioles at plus 1.5. As you can see, I'm not too confident taking them on the money line. I want to see. I think it's going to be a close game, and close games are what I root for now for the Orioles, as opposed to last year. Our parlay includes the Rays. Again, this is a parlay. The Rays, the Cardinals. So the Rays over the Orioles. Not saying it's going to happen. Not saying it's not going to happen. We'll see. Rays over the Orioles. I got the Cardinals over the Pittsburgh Pirates. That game is in Busch Stadium. And I got the Dodgers over the Colorado Rockies. That's going to be the Rays, Cards, Dodgers, and those are all decent-sized favorites. But if you bunch them all together, you get plus 252 odds. So you're getting back 2.5 times, a little bit more than 2.5 times what you put into the bet. $20, that would pay out a total of $52 profit on that parlay bet. Let's do a little quick recap here. Raptors win margin, 1 to 10, plus 160. Orioles plus 1.5, minus 115. Our parlay bet, Rays, Cards, Dodgers, Doyers, plus 252. total possible profit on each bet individually. The first bet would be $80 in profit. It's pretty nice right there. Second bet would be $41 in profit for the O's plus 1.5. And the third, the parlay profit would be $52. That would be a total of $153 if we win all three bets. And if you look at it and you just win every bet but the parlay, you're still making back $100. Take the 20 out that you put in the parlay, that's $80 in profit. You're still walking away at $500,000, okay? If you win that first bet, that $50 pays out a total of $80 in profit. That would cover all three bets. That would also cover the parlay and give you an extra $10 in profit. So you can win that first bet, lose the next two, lose the parlay, lose a single bet, and still come out at $500,000, winning $10. Go get yourself 2 Little Caesars $5 pizzas. I don't know. Either way, we're looking to win that total 153 though. Okay, so that's more than double our initial buy-in that we're getting back. Our initial buy-in was $120. We're getting back $153 in profit. I'm happy with that. If I can make 153 sitting down watching sports, doing what I'm doing already while drinking a beer, I'm happy. I'll take it any day. Okay, Akelo, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up here. If you want to go ahead, give out your handle there real quick. Shout out your podcast, and we're going to wrap this up for the night, folks. And we'll get on to brighter futures. We got baseball games and NHL games on tonight.
Yeah, man. I was going to say go back to the pitch real quick.
Go ahead, man.
I was going to say you talk about the Knicks versus Raptors, man. I was watching. I caught a few Knicks games because I'm a Heat fan. For some reason, the Knicks are like one of our closest rivals, and then the Knicks are so terrible, man. Like
it's rough, man. It's rough for them.
when your big three consists of Julius Randle, Alec Burks, and RJ Barrett, you're having a very bad season. I watched Julius Randle ISO the ball 15 times in one game. And he scored like 6 points. Like, that guy is not a good football player. I mean, not a good basketball player.
I don't know, man. I kind of think he is. I think he has the ability to be an elite player because he's shown it from time to time, but not consistently.
Yeah, Julius Randle. RJ Barrett shooting 30 times a game like he's Kevin Martin. I just don't understand it, man. Alec Burks, Tom Thibodeau. I swear to God, Tom Thibodeau has all his clout from being assistant coach for the 07-08 Celtics. Like since he's left that one team, everywhere else he constantly ruins teams of promise.
He's definitely a name.
You look at the Bulls when they had D Rose and Lou Aldana and stuff. They underaccomplished. You look at what he's doing with the Knicks now. I mean, obviously the Knicks suck. They're the Kansas Jayhawks of what Kansas Jayhawks are to college football. That's what the Knicks are to end the professional basketball. Like, the Knicks are so bad, but yeah, man. I just want to say that. But
I feel you, man.
I got a little off track there, but yeah. Anyway, follow me, guys. You can follow me on Twitter. Me personally at Akelo Roberts, which is my full name, Akelo Roberts. You can follow the podcast on Twitter, Talkin' FB Pod, at Talkin' FB Pod, TALKIN FBPOD. And yeah, actually, you can follow me on Instagram too as well. You can follow me. I guess I don't really do it on Instagram except post funny stuff in my story. Follow me, Big Homie Kelo, BIGHOMIEKELO. And yeah, man, you can follow, obviously if you want to find a podcast, just Google the podcast, Talking Football with Akelo Roberts, or you just Google me, Akelo Roberts. You know what's funny? I Googled myself the other day, and I saw someone put on for some reason my name's on like a celebrity network website, and it says I'm worth $800,000. And I was gonna say, man, I really use it.
I wonder where that. Yeah, I wonder where that.
Yeah, I have no clue where the hell that came from, because I make like $1,200 every 2 weeks. But yeah, that's pretty much about it. Follow me on Twitter, guys. Follow me everywhere.
All right, man, you heard it. Follow Akelo Roberts. It's great having you on here, Akelo. We're definitely gonna have you on again sometime in the soon future, maybe after the draft, and recap that and what went on with all the NFL teams, including the Bills, Dolphins, and Chiefs. For now, folks, good night. Have a good night. Hope you pick some of those bets and make some money back. I'm at J Don't Fade. That's Akelo Roberts. Have a good night. Go Bills.
Yes, go Big Red. We're off. Are we off? Are you still recording? What's going on?